Hello and welcome to today's broadcast. Today we are going to be answering, or I'm going to be answering for you, the three most commonly asked questions that I get about living and teaching this lifestyle. So welcome if you're joining us live. I always ask that you take a second to make sure that you put a comment in the comment section so that you can be part of our community discussion and Q&A at the end of my little discussion today. And if you're joining us on the rebroadcast, always make sure to take a second to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification icon so that you will be notified when we do go live. And then always during the broadcast, if you hit that like button, remember that helps this video hit the algorithms with Facebook and YouTube and allows this information to be more readily available for other women in our aging community. So today we are going to be talking about the three most commonly questions that I get when living this lifestyle or when sharing and teaching this to other women. So I am Diane. I'm the creator of the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman online course and this community here. And I really do strive to share as much of the life that I am living as I'm going through this aging process with you here so that you can start to consider maybe some new ways of living for yourself to really help us all age successfully. And that really is the theme of this month's discussions. So the first question that I get asked all the time is how often I fast, or do you have to fast every day? And the one thing that I really like to say when I get questions about do I have to is consider the results that you are hoping for, or what is it that you're aiming for when you're in search of creating some changes that are going to yield you a certain type of result. So I fast every single day because that allows me the opportunity to look and feel my best. So the days that I don't fast at all, so fasting for me is a minimum of 12 hours every day and a maximum of whatever. So I fast 20 hours, I can fast 22 hours, I fasted 36 hours before. It all just depends on what my particular goals are or what I'm shooting for in my own personal lifestyle. So should you fast every day? In my opinion, because of the chemical changes that are going on in our bodies as aging women, I say yes, every woman who is going through hormonal changes that she is unhappy with should fast every day. How many hours should you fast is going to be a question we're going to answer next, but I want you to just consider the fact that when you're not fasting, you're feasting. And if you're feasting all the time, is that going to be the thing that's going to yield you a good result? I've talked here a lot before about a book called The Metabolic Approach to Cancer. And in that book, it is shared that a minimum of 12 hours of clean fasting every single day for women significantly reduces our chance of breast cancer. So fasting a minimum of 12 hours a day should be something that all of us aging women should really shoot for. And then you build in lifestyle and some other aspects of your life determining what your maximum amount of hours are going to be that you will fast. Are you okay?
I think you're catching this.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My production assistant had to give me some help over here. Okay, so the first question is, how often should you fast? You should fast every day for a minimum of at least 12 hours if you want to reduce some health risk and just keep your body in a nice steady state of utilizing stored glucose. The second question I get asked all the time is, what does keto-like mean? So keto-like, that like part is where we really build in our own personal authenticity into the lifestyle that we are creating for ourselves. We know that there are diets out there, that we know that there's genres of eating styles, but we really should be able at this point in our life to create a feasting lifestyle that serves us authentically. So the way I feast in my feasting window really should have nothing to do with the way you feast in your feasting window because you have a different body chemistry. The keto-like approach does build in what we know about the benefits of living a lower carbohydrate and a higher fat type of lifestyle. The difference with keto like is we don't micromanage that. Like, I do not count macros, I do not count calories, and I don't restrict myself from any type of food that I really find joy in my feasting window. The foods that I limit or restrict in my keto like lifestyle are the ones that are keeping me from my end goal. And my end goal is really to wake up every single morning of my life with a feeling for myself that allows me to look and feel my best and make really authentic choices for myself. So the keto like approach to feasting is really you figuring out which foods work for you, knowing what is going on with our body chemistry, and that a lot of us are suffering from sugar related type of diseases. The best way to reduce or eliminate sugar related type diseases is to be aware of the carbohydrate intake that you have in your day. And if you can switch over your energy burning system from a sugar dependent type of system to a fat utilization system, then you have achieved the keto like approach. You do not necessarily have to micromanage what it is you're doing when you understand your own body chemistry. And you understand your own body chemistry when you start listening to the signs and signals your body is sending you. How do you know it's all working? When you wake up every morning and you look and feel your best because you are making those authentic decisions for yourself. Now, I know there is a lot of gray area in there, and that is specific to how I like to teach creating this lifestyle for yourself. Because when something in your life happens that causes you stress or causes you sadness or causes you boredom or causes you to feel like food is the answer for you, whatever it is that I'm doing in my life that works for me is going to be non-applicable to you, because you are going to resort to whatever you do in those situations. So developing a keto-like approach, creating authenticity for you, will allow you the opportunity to also heal how you use food in your life. And if you're in my intermittent fasting for today's Aging Woman course, you know we spend a lot of time on this type of dialogue, making very conscious choices for yourself and not using food for improper purposes, right? Food is used to sustain our life and to create a healthy body for us. It is not used as a source of entertainment. It is not used when you have a sad day. It is not used to fix a stressful situation at work or a bad relationship. So we need to develop a keto-like approach that will yield the result that you were hoping for. So that is how we defined keto-like. The third question, and probably the one I get the most, is what are you allowed to have during your fasting window? So this is one of those areas, again, where I ask you, what are your overall goals? If you come to me and you have a sense of desperation, or you've tried everything and you're about to give up and you're going to throw in the towel and it doesn't even matter, then I'm going to tell you that you need to fast long and clean until you have a different outlook on your life, until you're no longer desperate, until you're no longer ready to throw in the towel. When you've reached that new sense of hope and encouragement because fasting long and clean has yielded you the result that you were hoping for. How long do you need to maintain that long, clean fast? Will depend on how long you want to keep those results that you just gained. So if you are desperate and you are ready to throw in the towel and you feel sick and broken down and like you're falling apart, you can do nothing in your fasting window except drink mineralized water so you get those electrolytes, and then you have to determine whether coffee and or tea will be applicable and beneficial to you as a tool, and that you don't have to use it as a crutch. So absolutely nothing in your fasting window, 20 hours fasted, if you are broken and stressed and desperate and sad. I can give that advice because I was the broken, desperate, throwing in the towel. I felt like my life was over at 48-year-old woman, and I was the one who figured out that long, clean fast was the way to reverse that feeling. and it works every single time. If you come to me and say, I have been fasting and I'm not yielding the results that I see everybody else having, again, I'm going to tell you, do nothing in your fasting window until you can achieve the results that you were hoping for, because that's going to give you that inner confidence and that sense of encouragement that it's actually working for you. Fasting should work for everyone. If you're not yielding the results that you're getting from what it is you're doing with your intermittent fasting, then you're probably just not eating, but you're also not fasting. And let me clarify that. If you're putting things in your fasting window and you're not clean fasting and you're frustrated with the results that you're getting, then your body thinks that you're actually feasting, because your body chemistry is still out of whack, and everything you do is going to create a response that something's coming in that we need insulin for, and your body's going to go into that storage mode because you're not creating the environment to burn things off. So if you want to yield results that will change things for you, then you can do nothing in that fasted state that's going to interrupt the process of change. And that is allowing enough time in a fasted state where insulin is not going to be produced in your body and you're not going to be in a storage type of mode. Remember, we are either in a storage mode or we're in a utilization mode. And most of us who are at this stage of aging where our chemistry is so off, we are super storage type of bodies. And we haven't been able to transition over into utilizing that storage yet because we're always in a fed state. So you are either fasting or you are feasting, and your body's going to determine what level you have to be at for that to make a positive net effect. And so if you're frustrated, you have to do nothing in that fasted state so that you don't interrupt the process of change. So these are questions I get all of the time. How often should you fast? You should fast as frequently as you need to fast to create the change that you were hoping for. And then when you get that change you were hoping for, consistency will yield you that change. If you go back to doing what you were doing before, your results will go back as well. So this is why we call this a lifestyle and not a diet. You have to incorporate these lifestyle changes for the long haul so that the results will stay. What is keto like? Keto like for you is determining, because of the science we know, what carbohydrate intake you need to have in, and what fat intake you need to have in, and how you need to regulate your protein intake so that you will yield the results that you need to yield based on what your body chemistry is doing. You cannot cookie cutter this approach at all, because this is not a one size fits all. We have no idea where each one of us as women are coming into this lifestyle change. And so if you're not yielding the results that you were hoping for because you're following someone else's plan, that's because you're not living in that someone else's body. And you have to pay attention to your body so you can create your own keto-like approach. And then how or what are you allowed to have during your fast? Again, it depends on how desperate you feel to create change. If you are desperate and you're feeling like there is no hope for you and you've tried everything and you just don't know what to do, you gotta go all in. And the best way to go all in with intermittent fasting is when you determine that you are in a fasted state, you have to fast long and you have to fast clean. And then when you get the results that you were hoping for, you have to make that very conscious decision. Do I want to interrupt this process, or do I want to stay in it and keep yielding these results? Those are all personal decisions that you have to make for yourself, and I am here to help you make those decisions for yourself. But if you're frustrated, I promise you it's something you're doing in your fasting window, or it's you haven't figured out what the keto-like approach to feasting is for you and your body chemistry yet, or you're not fasting consecutively enough throughout days to yield that fat utilization, and you're still in that storage mode. So I hope this answers these questions for you. Know this, if you're in research mode still and you are seeking out lots of different information about intermittent fasting and what you can do and what you can't do, I promise you, you will feel frustrated and you won't know what you're supposed to do. I ask that you always test these theories out. If someone is giving you some advice, give it a go. See if that advice applies to you and your body chemistry at that time. If you do what they say and it works for you, then that advice was really good advice for you. But if you're listening to an expert and you are doing what they prescribe to do and you're not yielding the results that you were hoping for, then that advice is not good for you and your body chemistry at this time. You have to do enough research and experiment with enough different philosophies or guidance to determine what is going to work best for you. Because remember what I said, we are not a one-size-fit-all type of community here. We have no idea what each other's food story is, or sugar history is, or where you are in this game of chemical and hormonal changes to give cookie cutter advice. So you have to do your due diligence and you have to be willing to take care of yourself as we are going through this aging process in order to really be able to age successfully. I took really bad advice for about a year and a half and I was just as frustrated as a lot of you are, and I had to do my due diligence. What I can confidently tell you is this: if you fast for 20 hours clean for a consecutive amount of days and you really pay attention to the signs and signals that your body is sending you about the food choices that you're making in your feasting window, you will uncover so much amazing information about your own body. The question is, are you going to listen? And are you going to be able to make conscious decisions on whether you can want to continue to live in a place where you don't wake up looking and feeling your best every day? Or are you ready to make those conscious decisions so that you can wake up every day looking and feeling your best? And that ultimately is going to be the decision that you have to make for yourself as an aging woman in today's society. I hope if you've had one of these three questions that I was able to help you gain enough information to be able to answer these questions for yourself. I do not have the information from you on a personal level to prescribe to you as an audience of women a cookie cutter type of approach. But I always want you to make sure that you are experimenting with what we know as the basic level of what works in this community with thousands of women from all over the world, and then tweak it until you figure out what is best for you. And this is really where we take you when we go through our intermittent fasting for today's Aging Woman course. And for those of you who have been through the course, I see you and I hear you when you leave comments that you were doing so well with this lifestyle and then you fell off. If you are finding that you are in that situation and when you were practicing this lifestyle, you got amazing results and you felt amazing and you fell off, then now is the time to really start thinking about your mindset and how it is you're living your life. And this is where I want to invite all my graduates to consider joining our Midlife Mindset Shift course. We're going to be enrolling new students for our July kickoff, where we start a new quarter and new rotation of our 3-course component of our Midlife Mindset Shift. You start to make these lifestyle changes when you make the mindset shift. And that really is something that I want to encourage you all to do and really start thinking about. We don't want to go from yo-yo dieter to yo-yo faster. We know why intermittent fasting is working so well for a lot of us who are going through these chemical and hormonal changes. And those changes are going to stop if you yo-yo your way out of it. So if you're feeling frustrated and you keep falling off, I really encourage you to jump into our Midlife Mindset Shift course starting on July 1st. That is where we really concentrate on doing the mindset work to make sure that you are living your most authentic life and that you do have the opportunity to wake up every day looking and feeling your best. We don't want to create yo-yo fasting women here in this community. We're done with that type of lifestyle. We want to build consistency over time to really create an environment where we have the opportunity to age successfully. And I really do wish that for all of you here. So let me see who's here today. Sherry girl, you were first on Facebook. Way to be ready, girlfriend. She is in our June course and she is doing very well. Sue, loving the June course. Awesome to have you with this as well. My cousin is here. She was in our 2017 course. She is definitely living this lifestyle loud and proud. Sherry girl, I did a 24-hour fast today and feel with a lot of H's, amazing. Not hungry till 23 hours. Good for you, girlfriend. And that's coming off your birthday dinner, so hopefully that will help you kind of weed through a little bit of that extra stuff that you had on your birthday, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Veronica, welcome. Denise, May 2020 graduate, welcome. Teresa is here. She fasts every day too, and she does well. I think you're experimenting with some alternate day fasting, which I always encourage experimenting. So hopefully you're still doing well on that. And Teresa, I'm going to shoot you an email. We got really busy yesterday, couldn't come out and see, so we're going to try to come out tomorrow. Nicole, why do I get to feel lightheaded when I go to 19 hours? It's probably because your electrolytes are low or you're not consuming enough fat. Again, I can't give blanket answers here, so if you're in my course, utilize the community group and ask me a question there. And then if you're still trying to fast and you're feeling lightheaded, I always recommend getting into our course for sure. Yvonne, I know you fast daily, girl. Postmenopausal here. Remember when I was so happy to hit the 12-month mark and no more periods? It happened while I was finishing up my first course in August 2017. I was so happy. I know, right? It's like, oh, we can't wait to get to that postmenopausal state. And girlfriend, now you're thriving. So there is thriving post-menopause. You just got to make sure that you're creating the lifestyle to sustain that. So I always love hearing from you, Yvonne. Nicole, I do dirty 16 hours on weekends and clean Monday through Friday, alternating between 16 and 18-ish hours. Yeah. So Nicole, I always say if that's working for you, I think that that's fantastic. I am very happy with my post-menopausal state. I ran 5.5 miles today. So my running game is up. My physique is feeling great. I love the way I look and feel. And so I vary up my fasting as well. And as soon as I start losing all those things, I go right back to my 20 hours of clean. So once you get your body healed and your body becomes metabolically flexible, that's when you can start changing some things up for sure. But I always fast at least 12 hours clean, really try to shoot between 14 and 16. Yvonne, the gray area is the flexibility that works for me. I have been IFing for over 3 years now, and I can make adjustments based on my authentic self. In the beginning, I fasted long and clean for about a year before I felt comfortable utilizing the flexibility IF offers. Yeah, Yvonne, I was the same way. Like, I was all in when I was pre-diabetic and my brain was a mess and I wasn't happy with my physique and all the body fat I had. I didn't question it. 20 hours plus clean every day until I got to that point where I was consistently happy with the things that I had going on in my body, and I had proof through my blood work that I was healed. And then, yeah, it's super fun to be able to play around with some things and keep it flexible and fun and always changing. And then you always have the opportunity to make those conscious decisions to ebb and flow through your fasting window and what you're doing in your feasting, because you're confident that this lifestyle works for you. And that's really where I want all of us to get to, that point where we can confidently make these choices for ourselves and jump in and out as needed. So Yvonne, I always love when you share your I always call it fasting maturity. Like, we go through this phase of, I know when I first started fasting and I was sick and I was having temper tantrums about French fries and chips and all these kind of foods I thought I was never going to be allowed to eat again. And this is where the authentic self comes in, is you have to really understand that, there's some choices to make, and you can pick what it is that you really find as foods that make you happy and feel fulfilled in your life. And then you just got to learn to let go of some of those other ones. And that's what I call fasting maturity. And Yvonne is definitely worked her way through that as well. And she's very consistent with what she's doing. Super cute sweater, by the way. Thank you so much, girlfriend. Kat, Love the course, June 2020. Thank you for your continued support. Kat, you are super welcome. I always appreciate when you guys jump on. Lori, good to see you, girlfriend, and I'll see you tomorrow night for our Midlife Mindset Shift live coaching session. Sue, forgot to mention that I love the Mountain Valley Spring Water. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, for sure. Mountain Valley Spring Water is the absolute best, in my opinion. We have cases of it delivered to our house. I couldn't live without it. Gloria, good to have you, girlfriend. Hopefully you got your passion planner. If not today, hopefully you'll get it tomorrow. And then Sherry Girl, mineral water helps me when I get dizzy during fast. Yeah, for sure. Usually if you're feeling lightheaded, it's an electrolyte issue, or you're probably not getting enough fat, so your body's still searching for some sugar to keep your body fueled. So it's just a transition of going from a sugar burner to a fat burner. It's a couple of days of feeling uncomfortable, and then your body will adjust, and then you'll be thriving there for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna jump on over here to YouTube really quick and see who's here in our community, and if there's any questions I can answer. Andrea from Louisiana, November 2019 grad. Thanks for checking in with us. Michelle, November 2019 grad. You're looking summery today, Diane. Oh, thank you very much. Like I said, I got out this morning and I ran a 5.5 mile out in the hot Texas sun, and then I sat out in the jacuzzi for a little while and got a little morning sun. So thank you so much. Feeling really good today. Robin, May 2020 grad. Looking good. Thank you so much. Brenda from North Carolina, I believe it is. August 2019 grad, had a year wrong, glad to catch you live. Oh, no worries, girlfriend. All my 2019s are here today. It's always like this different phase of 19, 18, 17 grads checking in on specific days. It's super fun. And then Raina, new to your podcast, thank you for your knowledge. You're welcome, girlfriend. Anytime. Susan, it makes so much sense. Yes, it has to make sense, right? In order for us to adopt a lifestyle that we can live consistently over time, it has to make sense to us personally. And a lot of times we jump in to these diet type of philosophies because we get this desperate emotional connection to it, and we want to really try to make sure that we take our time with this and that it makes sense for us and that we can do it for the long haul so we don't become a yo-yo faster. You do not want to put your body through that where you're gaining and losing weight, or you're balancing out your hormones and then throwing them out of whack, or you're reducing your glucose back up and then you're building it back up. Consistency is really the best approach to this type of lifestyle, and in order to stay consistent, it does have to make sense. So I'm glad that it's making sense for you, Susan. Cindy, appreciate today's podcast, super helpful. Thanks, Diane. You're welcome, girlfriend. Yvonette, June 2020 course. Your channel is the only one that I watch and really learn something. Thank you for your wisdom. You're welcome. And I do come from a lot of what I share here is my own personal learning lessons and my own mistakes that I've made and what I've learned from the amazing women who have shared what their journey has been in our community as well. So all of our graduates go through exactly what we all go through in the process of incorporating intermittent fasting. And so you'll see them checking in here all the time. This lifestyle works, and the more consistent with it and the more you make sense of it for your own personal life and the more you set the rules and the boundaries for yourself, you'll be able to gain that consistency over time. And that really is our ultimate goal here. Susan, key points, you're welcome. Carmen, girlfriends, good to see you on a live. October 2018 grad, healthy, happy, and feeling my best as I get close to my 61st birthday. Wow, girlfriend. You'll have to make sure that you check in with us when it gets closer. We'll all wish you a happy birthday. Audrey, November 2019 grad, it is truly about time and consistency, still doing 20-hour fasting and feeling fantastic. Good for you, girlfriend. And then Lori, fasting 22 hours a day, down 30 pounds. 30 pounds. That is so amazing, Lori. You are just an inspiration for so many. I was wondering why you came over to YouTube. She got kicked off Facebook. Here's the other thing about fasting long, feasting well, and training smart. That's the three-pronged approach that I really focus on here in this community. If you incorporate all three of those aspects, right? So you fast long enough to reverse what you're unhappy with. You feast well enough so that you can wake up every day looking and feeling your best. And you incorporate some movement into your daily routine so you're increasing your heart rate to affect positive change. that means you have more flexibility in your fasting, more flexibility in your feasting, and you don't have to be desperate about what you're doing in your workout sessions. So I really do encourage all of you to think about that. What you do in your fasting is going to affect the choices you make in your feasting and vice versa. And then when you add in a really healthy component of moving your body and utilizing your storage as energy, that also yields flexibility with your fasting and feasting. And the better choices you make with fasting and feasting, the less desperate you're going to feel about your fitness routine. So it is really that three-pronged approach that we really have to focus on, so that we don't have to be an extremist with this lifestyle, for sure. Jennifer, it's been a while since I've been here, but still on the bandwagon. Have lost about 75 pounds. Girlfriend, you were like back in the day you were with us. I'm so happy that you're still living this lifestyle. I'm so happy that you're still on your journey of losing weight. 75 pounds is no joke. Like 75 pounds is like an elementary school kid or a middle school kid. So you are doing amazing work. Keep on it. Keep showing up here. If you need anything from us, we'll always be here to help you. And I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy you were able to check in with us today. Keep doing your thing, girlfriend. Susan, 2020 June class, getting more comfortable being hungry but not wanting to eat. Yeah, so hungry is where the magic happens. I heard a podcast today where they were talking about determining whether hungry is true hunger or whether it's just a habit of eating. And I think that that's something that we need to pause and consider a lot too when we're in that state of hungry. Or do you really need to eat, or can you thrive in that magic? Or is it just something that's a habitual thing at a certain time of the day? So getting comfortable is definitely the best approach. And then Marie, May 2020 grad, love understanding my body and controlling it instead of it controlling me. Amen to that. And then Donna was in your class in 2018, learned so much, love this lifestyle. Awesome, girlfriend. I'm glad that this lifestyle is definitely still working for you as well. So with that being said, we are going to cut out for today. Remember, you get to pick how you want to live this lifestyle, but you first need to consider what are the end results that you're hoping to achieve, and are the decisions that you are making supporting your end result. And if they're not, you're just going to continue to live in frustration. Intermittent fasting and living this keto-like approach works for everyone who's willing to go all in. So just go all in. You deserve it, your body deserves it, and your life deserves it. Please make sure that you stay connected with us here in this community. If you have any questions, always feel free to DM me. I'll do my best to answer them for you. And if you haven't taken our course yet, remember we're not having a course in July. Make sure you get on our wait list for August, and then we'll make sure that we get you set up for registration when we open that as well. And if you are a graduate of mine and you want to take it to the next level, remember we do have our midlife mindset shift course that will be starting up again on July 1st. I would love to have you join us for that as well. Have a good rest of your afternoon, you guys. Have an amazing weekend. Enjoy your Father's Day if you'll be celebrating Father's Day this Sunday with the fathers in your life. I know we're going to be enjoying and celebrating Michael here as well. And don't skip out on memory making opportunities this weekend because of a lifestyle that you want to live authentically. Remember, you have to be able to build in the flexibility to enjoy those things as well. And then I'll see you guys back here on Monday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time.